Sustainable tourism management means looking at how we traditionally handled the tourism and how we are now handling this in a much more sustainable way. That means we have to learn to adapt the means of the tourists in such an economically viable way that it does not destroy the resources on which the tourism are depending, notably the physical environment and of course the social fabric of the host community. And that's why this is important. In 1987 we had the Brundtland Commission defining what sustainability in general is. And their definition was developing to ensure that the needs of the present are being met without compromising the ability of future generations to meet its own future needs. And that's what we have to do in tourism also. Because more tourists means more income. And more income also means more pressure on a destination, be it on its natural, be it on its social, or be it on its cultural environment. So the major issues that we now have in the tourism destinations, that it is no longer just being attracting and increasing the number of tourists that come to the destination, but on how we can manage them once they have arrived in a very sustainable manner. And that's what we have to learn. Because tourism development has many impacts on the environment. And as visitor numbers are increasing constantly, there will be an increase for more water, more electricity. It will be a pressure on the sewerage systems. Traffic congestions will also happen. Pollution, of course, is another factor that we see happening when there are many tourists. And it will also change the cultures of the people, both of the visitors and the people that live in the destination. And sadly, greed and crime are also linked to tourism development, and these are things we have to control too. There are many activities that we should make more sustainable. Be it the environmental conservation, be it creating awareness of all people and making sure that everybody that is involved, be it the tourist, be it the local population, that they understand that protecting the nature is important for their own survival. And that's what we have to start thinking about. So, new forms of tourism are needed. Host communities have to understand this and have to, without compromising, show and have the ability for future generations to meet their own needs. This means we have to be economically viable, but don't destroy the resources on which the future of the tourism will decide. And notably, the physical environment and the social fabric of the host communities. And that's why we are going to do this course, and why I hope that this will help your destination to remain sustainable, and to realize that we have to make sure that we keep this destination for future generations as nice as it is at the moment.
Special interest tourism planner should pay attention toward the need of the balance in management of impacts and to be appropriate pace of development and community. So as special interest tourism grows and becomes more mainstream, many former niche activities are gaining characteristics of mass tourism. For example, cultural tourism. So many tourism providers have to become even more creative and innovative for special interest tourism program. In managing special interest tourism, you should keep in mind you need to minimize tourism negative impact and you have to understand the balance. These balance are, you have to understand the balance of the impact on host community, trying to avoid to create a lot of negative impact to the host community. Because tourists are agents of change, and you don't want to bring those are the bad things to the community. Increase in special interest tourism activity has significant implications for regional and economic development, as we all know that tourism has proved to be a great economic tool to increase the economics. Each community seeks to establish the starting point with which they are comfortable, so they can manage and resources and communal will appropriately. So let me conclude with this unit. When managing special interest tourism, you have to keep in mind 3 things. First, special interest tourism is market-driven and focused. Second, special interest tourism should incorporate with sustainable tourism. And third, special interest tourism need to concern about impact on host community. So with these 3 things, it would be great to participate in special interest tourism, and you will all benefit from this type of tourism.